Hey, you beautiful people! We're going live now, and just hopping in, checking in with Mac. Um, Thank you all for being here and for taking your time out to be here on this beautiful new Soul Care Live class in the new year. I am checking if I can see Mac hopping on. We'll go. All right, I'm going to send you an invitation. Maybe you can get it like that. All right. In the meanwhile, for some reason I can't send you the invitation.
Okay, I'll put your live call here now. That's fine.
Okay. Yes, there you are. All right, I'm gonna close this sound of the laptop. All right, thank you so much. Now I can invite you. All right. Hi.
Okay, hi, Feline. Thank you
So,
for inviting me onto here.
you're most welcome. I'm so grateful for this beautiful conversation, this Soul Care Live class, and you being with us as this beautiful expert and amazing soul on this earth. Thank you so much. Really humbled here. For everybody watching, I would love to kind of give you a bit of an introduction, Mac, for you are such a special being on this earth with such a big heart, and you've touched my heart for sure. And well, for people that don't know you, Mac Attram is the founder and CEO of MindSpace Coaching, and he's a leading business growth expert and one of the most sought after business coaches and trainers for entrepreneurs. And as I have come to know you, I really see and believe how you're deeply committed to being of service in a really immense global way. And yeah, you've been of service to over hundreds of thousands of people, often business owners, but people from several backgrounds, many types of beautiful beings here. And you're also a multi-award winning business coach and author, featured as an expert advisor in TV and newspapers and magazines. So like, wow. The principles that you've learned in business, you now teach as well to others, and you have helped so many people and yourself earn millions doing this on your path. And you've shared stages with people like Robert Kiyosaki, T. Harv Eker, Blair Singer, Les Brown, and so many more. And today you are here with us for this Soul Care Live class, being of service again in a topic today that is all about how to build a conscious business. And well, I would love to kind of hear, before we start, hear from you. Have I left out anything? Do you want to start maybe with sharing something today?
Thank you very much for your wonderful introduction, Feline, and thank you again for inviting me onto this session. So it's my pleasure to be able to share what little I know, what lot I know. But in the last 15 years, I've trained and coached hundreds of thousands of people around the world to improve their life, improve their business, and grow their wealth as well. But I love what you're doing in terms of helping people to be more conscious when it comes to entrepreneurism. And that's exactly where I work in as well, which is great, because I think the more conscious we are in what we're doing, I think over time the world becomes a better place. So thank you for the invitation. For those who don't know me, you know, you gave my wonderful introduction there, and also I'm a family man. For me, that's what I pride myself on. As you know, I've been
Mm.
married to my wife now, Linda. We this year would have been married for 21 years, and I love being with my family. As you know, we have three adorable children. My eldest is 19 years of age. That's Tiana. Then we have Destiny, who's 15 years of age, and Brandon, our last one, who's 13 years of age. And so for me, it's not just about making money as an entrepreneur or running a business, but it's what it gives you, what it allows you to do. And I love being with my family. I love traveling with my family. We can't do that now, so we spend a lot of time in our nice home doing lots of different things. But you know, I've helped people grow personally, grow their wealth, grow their business. Typically, growing their business of all different sizes, grow typically between 20% and 200% in just a matter of months, and often less than a year, because of the principles I teach. And when they implement it, what happens is they see significant growth. And I have different strategies in terms of how we do that.
Mm. Well, thank you for sharing that. And yes, the most important part of it is I might have left out, is you being a family man, a father of such beautiful children, and
Thank you.
this amazing, you know, being the husband of this amazing woman, Linda. I have met her personally, and I think she's such a beautiful soul. I really think you all are such an inspiring family. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Yeah, what I would love to ask, as you shared already a little bit, is when it comes to conscious business, as you shared the ways you help people create wealth in that sense, or you know, also being conscious in their entrepreneurship. I would love to know, like, what does it mean to you when it comes to conscious business or entrepreneurship? How has your
Thank
journey been in
you.
that?
So my journey, yeah, let me give you the story of my journey, then that will lead us to the fact of how I then transitioned to become more of a conscious entrepreneur, thereby a trainer and a coach for other people as well. So many years ago, when I first started my first business, I started that business because I wanted more free time, more freedom. I wanted to take my destiny in my own hands, as it were. And I remember up to then I'd worked for 3 corporate companies, and things were good. Salary was good, company car, everything was good. And then I started this company. It was a small little internet company, computer company. But after a few short years, my business partners had cheated on the business. There was lack of cash flow in the business. And so now I was working long hours to make my business work, because my 2 business partners weren't there to take care of sales and marketing and operations. So I was doing everything, managing this team as well. And I reached a point where I was almost burned out. I was burned out. I was depressed as well. Where what happened was, my wife, we had a young child, Tiana. She was only a few years old, and because of the problems in my business, I ended up working 90 hours a week, 100 hours a week, hardly at home, hardly seeing my wife and my first child. But the problem is, my wife was pregnant with our second child now, Destiny, and things weren't right. I was over $100,000 in debt at that time, and not seeing my wife, not seeing my children, working long hours. And I remember one particular evening, I was driving home from my office, and 5 minutes from my home, I parked my car, and I just had a breakdown. I parked my car in this shopping center car park. I remember it very well. And I was just going through this, hands on the wheels, I was just going through this breakdown, thinking, what a failure I am. Okay. You know, how did I get here where life is not great? I'm not enjoying my life. I'm in debt. I'm not seeing my family. What happened? Where did I go wrong? And in that moment, I came to a realization that there must be a better way of doing this. how do other successful people do this? How do wealthy people create these type of businesses? How do they have better relationships? How do they live life? And in that moment, I realized there's a lot I didn't know. Although I was a graduate and got a degrees and all this kind of stuff, that why was I failing? I realized that there's difference between academic success and real life entrepreneurial success. And so Feline, what I started to do is to study how successful people do things in life, in relationships, in spirituality, in money, in wealth. And that's when that's when I became more conscious. So I was able to, within less than 2 years, able to fix my situation. And what, by fixing my situation and then selling my business, and then I started investing in real estate property, investing in other businesses. I created a life of financial freedom, financial success. And now I teach other people how to create a better lifestyle, better business, so they can enjoy their lives even more. And when we talk, is that all making sense, Feline?
Yes, I'm listening and being in awe. Thanks so much for sharing that. I love
Grace. I see Grace is here. Grace is very good. Grace, good to see you. And so when we talk about conscious business, I came to realize that there is a way of doing things that actually makes your life better, makes your clients' lives better, and makes society better by who you are. And so one thing I came to realize is that we are all born into this world for a purpose. And, I believe there's a higher consciousness, a higher spirit. I call God, other people call universe, other people call different names that lead me, if you like, to, and by following my purpose, I think that's spiritual work. Although I don't use that in my teachings, in my business trainings, the people who come to my business training and come to my business coaching realize that it's all aligned. It's, being conscious means for me also living on purpose, doing business on purpose, doing things that makes sense, because it has a bigger impact to humanity, to our global world. So that's the kind of thing, that's what makes sense to me.
Yeah, I love that. I really, it resonates on so many levels, and I love how you kind of also pointed out how there are all these levels of life, of course, that we all find ourselves in, being, you named spirituality, but also business and health and wealth, all those aspects. When they all are aligned, that's when you can say being conscious in business, and when things flow as I understood you. And it's so beautiful. Yesterday I followed, or last week, but also in the end of 2020, I followed these beautiful courses of Tony Robbins, who actually says that business is something spiritual. And you now pointed out as well, and I love how you share that. And I've seen your beautiful, you've mentored me even in so many ways, and I've seen your beautiful talks and sharing your knowledge on stages, and I see what you did there was often, of course, business based, but I now also hear your consciousness of all these spiritual parts of it, and I really love how you shared that. Thanks so much for doing that.
You're most welcome, Feline. You're most welcome.
Yes, what I would love to kind of dive into next is as you shared your the downs in life, as we all go through those as well, being depressed or burnout, as you shared. I mean, that's some serious something serious that you go through and learn to heal yourself from, as you now appear to be so much more conscious, as you shared. And would you maybe share with us, like, what helped you? What helped you get yourself out of those moments and really step up again and follow that path of you shared that you dove into studying people's lives and the wealth of people, but were there tools, were there things that you know?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your question. One of the biggest things for me as I started to study even more and taking action was there were different teachers who were skilled in different areas, and the areas that I was lacking, I was willing to stop and learn. So I studied with people like Les Brown and studied with people like T. Harv Eker, Robert Kiyosaki, all Blair Singer, all for different reasons. I studied the Bible again. I had different mentors who would help me see things differently. And so in the marketplace, people know me in the coaching and training space as someone who does what they say they're going to do. Whereas there's a lot of people who say one thing and don't deliver. And so for me, consciousness is about also karma, doing the right thing for the right reason to the right people. And so I learned different things, different places. I will say this, there are some teachers that I learned from that I would, although they're very good in one area of their life, there are other areas of their life that I would not like to model. I would not like to associate myself with, because everyone's different, but there are lessons that we can pick up from different places, from different people, which I endeavor to do constantly.
Yes, thanks so much for saying that and sharing that's so beautiful, the tool of modeling. I kind of understood that in what you said, like being aware of what you want to learn from somebody, what is their skill or things that you see in them that you really want to learn, but also be conscious of where you can find something else for yourself and really grab that together as a whole.
Absolutely.
Did I understand that right?
Absolutely, yeah. There are the way to look at it. I think is like this. And I was sharing one of our clients not too long ago, one of our business clients who wanted to understand how to be their ideal self. And I said, look, there's no one out there who has exactly what you're looking for. But what you can do is say, okay, who are some of the great leaders, or who are some of the people that I really admire, and what can I learn from them? So some people might want to model the humility of Mahatma Gandhi, or the leadership of Martin Luther King, or the oratory skills of J.F. Kennedy, or or the unstoppable energy of a boxer, Mike Tyson, or the hard work and non-stop ability to train of Usain Bolt. But what can you pick up from different people that will make you be better? Some may want to pick up the humor of Eddie Murphy. So now you've got the humor of Eddie Murphy, the humility of Mahatma Gandhi. You've got the all these elements. You model those areas that can make you whole, who you need to be. But sometimes we don't know how to do it, but just modeling it. You can model it from their books, from their videos. There's lots of stuff on YouTube. At the end of the day, who do you want to become in the next few years? You can model that.
Yes, I love that. Thanks so much for sharing that. This is such a beautiful tool that might sometimes for some people be so how would you say that? I'm looking for the English word. It's something that we might not be conscious of when we're talking about consciousness. That it might seem so simple, but it really is a skill that you can train yourself in.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love that you point that out for us. And I'm curious when it comes to your business and building those businesses, because I believe you have
several businesses, yeah.
Several businesses, yes, and you've also sold businesses. I mean, it's pretty broad. Would you maybe take us with you on that path of yours?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've created businesses, I've sold businesses. I say to people that it doesn't suit everyone, but one thing I say is if you are embarking on entrepreneurship or you're starting a business, have the end in mind, okay?
Yeah.
And so some people start a business, which is what I did in my first business, start a business in order to pay their bills, so have an income, okay? Which is fine, and everybody starts that way. But at some point, you've got to decide. But what I say is, if in my business boot camps, I say, start your business to sell your business.
Mm.
Now,
yeah.
you may not want to sell it, you may not at all. But what it does, it gets you to a thinking and a behavior that if something happened to me and I couldn't work for 6 months, I couldn't work for 1 year, what happens to my business? And the notion that I'm building my business to maybe sell it in the future means you are going to set it up differently. You're going to structure it differently. You are going to put the different processes and systems in place properly. You're going to hire the right people to do the right roles. So it means that the business is not just you. And here's the thing with a lot of conscious coaches and trainers and conscious business owners, that they believe, and I see this a lot, that the business is them. Well, nobody can massage the way I do. Well, nobody can really get intuitive with them the way I do. And so that, although they believe that's their business, it's actually a self-employed situation that if something happened to them for 3 months and they couldn't work, there is no business.
Yeah.
So a conscious business becomes a conscious business when you have the right processes and systems in place, when you have a team of whether it's associates or other licensed practitioners, or when you have a team that can also do what you are doing.
Yes, I love that. I really see how that has helped also a lot of successful entrepreneurs like you, like your own path that you shared. You've been able to sell a business by setting it up. I believe that, right?
Right. Yeah. So take my first business, for example, where it was a small computer company, 12 staff, working hard. But what I didn't know is I was working too hard in my business because I didn't have the right setup. I didn't have the right structure. So what I learned from some of my mentors is how to structure a business so that my team do the work they're supposed to be doing. I don't need to be involved in everything. And once I was able to understand that and apply it to my business and fix it, then I sold it. And here's another point of consciousness. You know, I started that business around 1999, 2000. And around 1999, the whole, what was trending then, we didn't use those terms then, but what was trending then is the internet, e-commerce, websites, computer. So I went into that business thinking, well, it's getting popular. People need those services. But what I didn't realize, it wasn't a business that put me on my purpose. And so one thing I teach a lot of people is, what I teach people is this: there's a big difference between passion and purpose. And when I got into that business, there was a lot of passion. I had a lot of passion and really wanted to make it work because I quit my job and this is it. But when the issues and the challenges started happening, suddenly I wasn't enjoying my business anymore. And what I say to people is, if your business is built on purpose and you're doing this purposefully, whenever there is a challenge or problem, you will always find a way to overcome it, because you know that the business is actually there for a greater purpose, not just to serve you, but to serve other people as well. And so any business that I go into now is this on purpose. And when I came from a point of being broke and then learning and then fixing my business and selling it, I realized that I wanted to help other people to do the same. So my mission or my purpose became to inspire, educate, and empower people to live a life of joy, courage, passion, and purpose every single day. So every day when I wake up, I'm living that. it makes sense to me. You know, when Feline says, oh, can we jump on a live? Can we do a Zoom? What are we going to talk about? Are we going to talk about consciousness, entrepreneurship, business? That is me. I'd love to help because it puts me, your mission is my mission then, and we're going down the same path. And so if that helps, then that answers your question, then great.
Yes, it does beautifully. And what I take, or what I, if I would, you know, make it into a sentence, I see how you've learned to shift your drive in that sense of firstly passion based towards purpose based, and how that actually helped you build your current businesses probably in a totally different way as well.
Yeah.
And yes, and yeah, if I could ask you maybe before we go into this little exercise together, what would you advise entrepreneurs out there, or listening today, or for everybody watching? You can also find this back on our social medias after today. We'll save it. So, you know, what would you advise to everybody here listening when it comes to making choices around health, around soul care, you know, being aligned and living that purposeful life?
Yeah, what would I advise? One of the biggest lessons for me is that life is too short. You know, we're not promised eternity. We're not here forever. And you know, for some people may know, but a lot won't. But I've been practicing martial arts for over 35 years, and I love training in the martial arts because it's conditioning, it's discipline. My current teacher, Grandmaster Trevor Nichols, who teaches me Taekwondo, and he's been teaching me for over 20 years. His original teacher was the founder of, one of his original teachers was the founder of Taekwondo, General Chong Hai-Hee. But one thing that the general, when he founded Taekwondo, said in his autobiography, he said, imagine your life as 24 hours. So we have 24 hours in the clock, right? 24 hours. And every second that goes, that is maybe a year of your life gone. So imagine your life as a, once I got to see that, hear that, I thought, wow. So if my life is only 24 hours, how am I going to live in this time period that I've been given? Because, you know, 10 years goes like that. Anyone listening right now, the last 5 years, has it gone like that? The last 10 years, has it gone like that? What's going to happen next 5 years, next 10 years? So whatever you're deciding to do it now, because it's going to make a big impact to you, your family, and to your life and to humanity. And so time, consciousness, all relevant. So every morning when I wake up, I have different routines, and those routines, I have practices for my health, for my mindset, my well-being, my spirituality. So when I wake up in the morning, I have a certain process I go through, which includes my meditation and prayer, and I'll go through my martial arts practice to get my sweat on, as they say, get my sweat on. And I go through, and I have a rebounder where I rebound to get the energy up and get the cells in my body oxygenated and working well. And for you know, today, right now, it's in London, it's 3:30 almost. I've just been drinking glass after glass of this. I haven't eaten any solid food since I woke up at 5:30 this morning. But I will, after our call, I'll be having my green juice, and then my green juice contains essential ingredients for me. So that green juice has got vegetables, and it's got ginger, and so I'm looking forward to that. That will be my meal this afternoon. So I haven't had any lunch or anything like that. So when I talk about being conscious, many people are not even conscious of what's going on what's going into their mouth. Mm-hmm. And what's going into your mouth is actually affecting your physiology, your health. And many people are not, you know, conscious of what's going on into their mind. So every morning when I'm sitting there, I'm writing my gratitude process, I'm visualizing, I'm very conscious. I'm not watching the news. I'm not going on Facebook. I'm not going on Instagram first thing. I'm really intentionalizing my day consciously, because I have an idea of where I want to be by the end of the day, where I want to be by the end of the year, by the end of the month, whatever. And same as my spiritual practice, same as my what I read. All these are conscious decisions that most people do not make. And as entrepreneurs, if you've only got 24 hours, imagine your life as 24 hours, how would you treat your body? How would you treat your mind? How would you treat other people? How would you treat your family?
Yes.
So this is all consciousness, right?
Yes, I love how you kind of end with these beautiful gifts here, and totally thank you for sharing also the health part and your morning routines even as an extra gift for everybody listening, and also for me, I really resonate with you on many levels here, and especially on the consciousness of what information do you put in your brain here, how do you point out, how do you use your time, also in a conscious way. And then when it comes to health and food, really resonate on that one too. I'm a big fan of medical medium, Anthony William. Don't know if you've heard of him, but it helped me learn to walk again after my old story of having MS, multiple sclerosis, and I now walk the earth healed and happy. And I totally love you sharing this last bit as well, because it's such an important part of consciousness.
Absolutely.
Yes, thanks for that. What I would love to ask to kind of end today's beautiful session is, would you be willing to share a little bit of an exercise maybe here with us beautiful listeners, that might be good to help you dive into that consciousness and regarding business, of course?
Yeah. Yes, certainly. There are different models that I teach and different practices that my clients go through. But essentially, if I'm coaching you in your business because you want to have better results, either you want to increase your sales, you want to increase your profitability, you want to improve your own personal income through business, and you want to create a lifestyle through your business, then there are different models I teach. And a lot of people come to me for those kind of things. They want to increase their income, they want to improve sales, they want to have a better business. And again, for me, if you just want to create income, anybody can do that. But I say create your business, set up your business to generate wealth for you. Because you're going to work hard anyway, so you might as well work hard in terms of setting it up correctly, so it outlasts you, if that's possible. Or if something happens to you, you can sell it. So how do you create a business that's geared up to creating wealth, not just income? So the income will come, but how do you create a business? So there's a model that I'd like to share with your listeners and your viewers that may help. And so there are 5 keys. There are 5 keys to this. And the first one is, have a story. What is the story of your business? What is the story behind your business? In other words, why did you start this business? Why did you start that business? What is the story behind this business? What's the mission of this business? What's the vision of this business? Where are we going? Where are you going? Why is that important? Because if there is a story, your clients, your customers will be attracted to that, because we buy on emotion and we justify it with logic. So your team will also buy into that story. They'll also buy into that mission and the reason why you do what you do. So for example, the mission of my business is to empower and support business owners to have a better lifestyle. How are you going to have a better lifestyle? Well, if you set up your business the right way and it's making money, you can then live the life that you want. And so the first step is the story. Be clear on the story. There's a lot of facets to it, and there's a lot of models I use within that. The second stage is that's level 1, step 1. Once that story is clear to you as to why you're doing this business and what's the purpose behind it and who's it going to help and all the rest of it, then the next step is the strategy. And this is so critical, because lots of people go into business with no clear strategy, and they just think, well, I just need a customer, I just need someone to pay me this, and I just need a few more of them to buy this and pay me this, okay? But a strategy has to be very powerful. First of all, the story, number one, has to be irresistible. Irresistible. The second thing is the strategy, and the strategy has to be very powerful. And when I say strategy, some people get confused. So let me give you a basic strategy. Right, you're in your business, and now you've got to find clients and get them to pay you. So the simple model I use is you must now attract the right prospect. And so every single prospect that's coming to you that become eventually a client has some kind of problem or pain. So they have some kind of problem or pain. It's your duty to understand and know and have the ability to articulate what that problem or pain is.
Yeah.
And you've got to understand which prospect has that. So it's the right prospect with that problem. And the second part of that is now you're going to create the right product or service for them to address that pain or problem. Not only that, you're going to do that at the right price. There are certain prospects that if you present them with a product or a solution and the price is too low, they will not buy. And there are other prospects, if the price is set at a premium price, they think that's for me, I only buy the best. So you've got to understand clearly who, and most entrepreneurs don't understand this, all right? And they struggle in business for years and years. So who's the right prospect with the right problem, and what's the right product for that prospect, and what's the right price for that prospect. And so so once you're clear on that, then you just go after that prospect and service them correctly, instead of going here because somebody asked you, and then going here and going there and going all over the place. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is, once you're clear on that powerful strategy, and it's powerful, you have to now be able to sell and market authentically.
Yeah.
Not be pushy, not be arrogant, not be manipulative, but be able to present your products and services in a very authentic, genuine way, and allow clients to be able to be attracted to you and be willing to exchange their money for your services. So that's the sales and marketing element. And some people, remember, if you're building a business on purpose, then you should have the courage and confidence to go out and market and sell it. And a lot of conscious business owners and entrepreneurs, heart-centered entrepreneurs, do not like the notion of selling. But if God is abundant, if the universe is abundant, and you are there to service and help people, then if you're doing this purposefully, then do that, because it makes a difference to them. And if you don't do that, they're missing out. Can you hear me okay? Is it breaking up?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Yes. Very good. So step number 3. Okay, very good. No, it's fine. So step number 4 is, now you've got a story. The strategy is clear. You know who the prospects are, with the right problems, with that you've got the right products, and you're selling at the right price. And now you're selling, and you are doing that authentically and marketing authentically. The 4th step is having the right system, and that system must be repeatable. You see, for most entrepreneurs, they are the system. So if something goes wrong in the business, the team asks them, the staff member asks them, or everything relies, they are the system. And if something happens to them and they're in hospital for 3 months, there is no business, because there is no system. So when I say systems, I'm talking about the marketing system. How do you market? Sales system, customer service system, operation system. There's all these things, if you want to build a business for wealth consciously, that you must implement. So it must be repeatable, because a repeatable business makes your business more consistent in terms of sales, in terms of profitability, and also gives you freedom. Because if the team are following the system, now you have more time to do other things and serve a lot more people. That's step number 4. And the last step in this model is number 5, which is structure and team. How are you going to structure your business in a way that the right people are doing the right things at the right time to serve your clients? And without the right structure, legally as well as from a people perspective, then you start losing. It becomes hard work. So I teach people how to create the right structure as well, which becomes the foundation of their business to build their empire. So that's a simple model I wanted to share with you, but there are 5 keys to creating a business for wealth. And in my boot camp, I go deeper into all these areas to help conscious entrepreneurs like yourself and other people to build that type of business.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for teaching us these 5 steps. And would you maybe willing to share where can we find you? Where can we find your beautiful work?
It's the best place to go to is go to macattram.com, which is my name.com, and there's some free stuff on there you can subscribe to, and I can keep you updated in terms of what we're doing and what when our next boot camp is, or if you need coaching, if you want to build. So typically, a lot of people coming to me because they want to move from a 6-figure business to a 7- or 8-figure business. So I have models that we use to help people move from 100,000 a year to 200,000 a year, or 200,000 a year to $500,000 a year, or $500,000 a year to $2 million a year. Right now we're working with some other clients. One's moving from $5 million to $30 million dollars a year. So we cover all different areas. We have a team of coaches around the world. But just reach out to me, macattram.com, and you can see what I'm up to.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, for taking us with you on your journey, and for being of service in this beautiful way to all of our beautiful listeners today, and probably also after today. Thanks everyone for being here. It has been amazing, and thank you, Mac, for your beautiful service.
You're most welcome. Feline, thank you for inviting me onto your call there. I really appreciate that.
Yes, yeah, it was a pleasure, really. Most welcome too.
Most welcome.
Let's go on and have an amazing evening for everyone.
Bye for now.
Bye.